Back in 2016, I made my channel to help people out with advice in regards to off-camera flash and flash in general, and I do my best to make sure that advice is sound and backed up with a lot of research. I don't want you to waste your time when you watch my videos, and I definitely don't want you to waste your money either on bad purchases. Having said that, recently I saw a video by Peter McKinnon that suggested that first-time flash users buy the Yongnuo 564 despite the many limitations that it has that I will be going over in this video. And it's for this reason I decided to break down why I found that advice unhelpful and what I believe is the better speedlight to buy, especially for first-time flash users. Before I do that though, I do want to state that this video is not sponsored in any way, shape, or form, nor was I paid to say anything that I'm going to say in this video. It's just my opinion from using flash pretty much every single day for the past 8 years. The Yongnuo 564 is $72, which definitely is a great price considering the Nikon, Canon, and Sony speedlights are much higher in the hundreds. However, the Godox TT600, the speedlight I do believe is a must-have, especially for people starting off-camera flash, is actually cheaper at $65. So if we're going strictly based on price so far, the Godox is the better buy, especially for anyone needing to stretch every single dollar that they have. Aside from the speedlight, you have to be able to fire and control it somehow. And when it comes to the transmitters that are going to be able to do this, Yongnuo's cheapest is going to be the YN560TX, which is going to cost $38.65. And Godox's cheapest is going to be the Godox X1T, which is $46. Right now, if we were to go just off of price alone, I wouldn't have even bothered to make this video because both combos are pretty much around the same, but price is not the only factor that you should consider, and it's why I wanted to make this video to explain that. So let's go ahead and start talking about what these two speedlights offer. The Yongnuo 564 doesn't even have high-speed sync, while the Godox TT600 does. And if price is not going to be a factor here, since both combos are pretty much the same, I'm definitely going to be recommending the light that has that extra feature that the other light doesn't. For those of you who are not familiar with what high-speed sync is or why you would want to use it, that's something that I would rather dedicate its own video to going over. But in a nutshell, it's basically the flash's ability to pass the camera's max sync speed, or X sync speed, which you can consider the camera's speed limit. With flash, once you pass this limit, you'll start to experience a black bar going through your image as the flash is no longer registering throughout the entire image and only some parts of it. This X sync speed, this speed limit, it depends on the camera, but it's usually around 1/60th to 1/250th of a second. For example, when I shot with my Canon 60D, it was 1/320th. With my Canon 6D, it was 1/180th. And now with my Sony a7R III, it's 1/250th. Again, I will make a video explaining this more in depth, but for now, I just want to say that the primary reason for using high-speed sync is to use wide apertures with flash during the day. And again, the Godox TT600 offers this feature, while the Yongnuo 564 doesn't. The Yongnuo 564 has the ability to rotate 270 degrees, and the Godox TT600 has the ability to rotate 360 degrees. While I don't own the Yongnuo 564 and I don't have a Godox TT600 on me, I do have the Yongnuo 562, which shares the same 270 degree rotation as the 4, and I do have another Godox speedlight that shares the same 360 degree rotation, so I wanted to show you guys that on the screen for a second. While the Yongnuo 564 offers 3 groups and 16 channels, the Godox TT600 offers 5 groups and 32 channels. This might not seem important to you if you're just starting out and you're just using one flash, but if you ever really want to get creative with your lighting, having more groups to choose from can be really beneficial to have. If you're ever in a crowded area such as a Comic-Con, for example, or any sort of convention that has a lot of photographers using flash, having more channels to choose from is only going to be a good thing. I recently shot with Godox lighting at the Shutterfest conference in St. Louis, and a lot of people there had Godox lighting as well, so it became a little issue of finding a channel that was free that nobody else was using. And for me personally, in the group of people that I was shooting with, we had to go as high as channel 23 to find a free channel. Something unique to the Godox lights is the ability to use them cross-brand with a multitude of different camera systems, including Sony, Canon, Nikon, Fuji, Olympus, and Panasonic. If I was heavily invested in Godox lighting and wanted to 1. Add another camera system to my workflow, 2. Switch entirely to a new camera system, or 3. Hire somebody or just simply shoot with a friend that had another camera system, then all I would need to do is buy a transmitter for that system, and I would be able to use all of my Godox lighting with that new camera system. No rebuying a whole other set of lights, which is something that you would experience if you bought the Yongnuo 564 speedlights or Yongnuo speedlights altogether and wanted to specifically use them off camera. I wanted to specifically stay off camera because most manual only speedlights, that don't have high-speed sync or TTL and simply work to just fire the light on camera, including Yongnuo, will work with most camera hot shoes. I could use that single godox T600 with all of those different camera systems that I mentioned earlier, including Sony, Nikon, Canon, Fuji, Olympus, Panasonic, off camera with no issue. But if I use the Yongnuo speedlights, I'd be limited to only manual speedlights or speedlights that are only compatible with Canon and Nikon's radio systems. By buying into the Yongnuo system, you're really limiting yourself in terms of lighting, and should you ever need to add another camera system for whatever reason, you'll just be adding another layer of difficulty to your workflow. One of the best things that Godox offers is a wide variety of lights that allow you to choose the perfect setup for you, and Yongnuo doesn't offer this at all. If you want to use nothing but speedlights and shoot with them manually or using Nikon or Canon's radio systems, then you can be perfectly happy with Yongnuo. But I didn't make this video to give advice to people already invested in those systems, and I just don't think it's wise to tell newcomers looking into off-camera flash for the first time to get a limited system that not only costs more, but offers less. To reiterate, Yongnuo doesn't offer anything other than normal size speedlights at the time of making this video. However, Godox does, and that's going to be extremely beneficial for anybody out there wanting more power from the light, which definitely is going to be the case for anyone wanting to overpower the sun on a bright sunny day, or for anybody simply wanting more power from their light in a similar size flash, which is going to be the Godox 8200, which has triple the amount of power of a normal speedlight. But as I said before, there's a lot of different strobes to choose from, and originally I was going to go over the different options in this video, but since it ended up taking too long, and since my friend Rob Hall already has a video going over all of the different options in his own video, I thought it would just be easier to just leave a link in the top right corner of the screen, as well as in the description area to his video. I find Rob's videos extremely helpful, and I highly recommend you guys check out his channel as well. I have nothing but love for Peter McKinnon and his videos that no doubt have helped many aspiring filmmakers and photographers alike. I even picked up a lot of great tips from him as well, and I use the Aperture 120D as the main light right here for video lighting because of him. When I saw his video recommending the Yongnuo 564, I was just really concerned for off-camera flash newcomers, and I decided to make this video because I strongly believe that there are much better options out there for a first flash. I started my channel back in 2016 to talk about off-camera flash and to help others learn about it, but I've been personally interested in off-camera flash and lighting in general since about 2011, so almost 8 years now, and I've done nothing but test my own lights from Canon, Buff, Yongnuo, Metal, Jinbi, and finally Godox in 2016. As someone who's dedicated a fraction of their life to learning lighting, I felt the need to make this video to simply help out in any way I could. Up until this point, I realized I've sounded like an ad for Godox. I'm completely aware of this, as well as my preference towards the Godox products, but what I hope you guys understand is that it's because I've used these lights for years now, since 2016, and it's because I've seen what these lights can do that led me to recommending these lights to people directly in messages online and making videos on these lights as well. When I switched from Canon to Sony at the beginning of 2017, all I had to do was buy a Sony transmitter and I was able to use all of my Godox lights, which was insanely convenient. That same year, I would shoot with my friends Roland, Eli, and Hector a lot, and they shot with Canon and Nikon while I shot with Sony, but we were able to use all of my Godox lights because they also shot with Godox and had transmitters for their systems. I did not make this video to say that Yongnuo speedlights aren't capable of creating great photos. That's not the case at all, and I can't emphasize that enough because I'm a strong believer that light is light, and you can create amazing images from many different light sources out there, from cheap to expensive to free, such as natural light of course, as long as you know what you're doing. I personally own Yongnuo 562 speedlights and used them from about 2013 to about 2016, and I created some really nice images with those lights. But if I'm going to be recommending a first speedlight to anyone out there looking, I would rather recommend them getting a speedlight that's going to offer them much more, cost less, and provide an easier solution should they want to add or change systems or simply shoot with a friend that uses another system. I seriously hope this video has helped anybody out, and if it did, my job is done and I'm really happy that I could help out. I just felt the need to make this video because the options that you have regarding off-camera flash are not the same as they were 5 years ago. So many lights have come out since then, so I felt the need to recommend a certain light that I think is going to be the best for anybody starting off-camera flash. Alright, that's it. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.